I recoded the fake game from the ads, I even published it as a real app and paid influencers to talk about it. Guys, I don't get it. Is this game fake or not? All of this was to find out if making this kind of game actually makes money. Because when you see the marketing budget that one of these publishers has, it's insane. Seriously, everyone has seen it. The worst part is that in their ads, they highlight the fact that their ads supposedly aren't fake. No spoilers, they talk about the real game 95% of the time. Great, someone had to do something about it. By the end of this video, you'll know how much money these games make, why they exist, and most importantly, be able to play my real game on your phone. Let's not waste any more time and let's create the foundation of our game with Unity. You probably know Unity, but it's a game engine that will allow us to create a game for both iOS and Android. And basically, this is our first scene. On the left, there's the level editor that lets me adjust the position of the elements, and on the right, that's the final rendering as it will appear on phones. There are no textures yet, so it looks ugly, but you can already see the game's layout. This is where zombies will enter, and this is where blue portals will appear. And the red area here is the limit that the zombies must not cross, so you don't lose the game. You have to manage to kill them before they reach the red limit, otherwise you lose. And this little bit of a sprite here, that's our first soldier moving from left to right. The main mechanic of the game is obviously that if you collect blue portals, you gain soldiers. When a soldier touches the portal, it duplicates him. That's what makes this game satisfying. And at the same time as the portals move forward, we've made zombies spawn randomly, and they also just keep moving forward. If they reach the red line, it's game over. Same here. There's no animation, sound, particles, or any of those details that make the game satisfying. And in this type of game, satisfaction is crucial. Killing zombies just makes you want to keep going, and watching soldiers appear is enjoyable. The game is packed with features that make it addictive. The goal is to trigger as much dopamine in you as possible, and that's why we're going to use very bright colors, add music, sound effects, create scenes that make you really want to see what happens next. Like this game, for example. Well, obviously this kind of ad is fake too, but you can see that the goal of the ad is to get as many downloads as possible with fake content. We want to see what happens with the water and lava if we pull the pin, and also what the guy and the Squid Game soldier will do if they meet after pulling the pin. Well, knowing what Squid Game is going to do in there, and who knows if they even have the rights to the license, spoiler alert or not. But if we go back to another type of game, usually the satisfying part of the ads is that there are a lot of soldiers. You can sometimes double them with X2 portals. When you kill zombies, you see short animations of their deaths. It may sound odd, but it's surprisingly satisfying. We'll need to recreate that in our game. Before continuing the development of our game, it's interesting to understand why publishers make fake ads, and especially why it's actually a real challenge to recreate these ads. You understand that the goal of these publishers is to make as much money as possible, and so they end up spending almost more money on marketing than on the development of the game itself. It's a real problem, since now all other games must adapt to this misleading approach. Because if someone sees an ad like that, unrealistic and super addictive, well, compared to that, a game that advertises in a classic and honest way will seem boring. For example, you've probably seen this ad, it's completely fake too. Some of their ads have been reported and banned by the ASA, which monitors advertisements, but we still see many of their ads. And like I said in the introduction, it's the same thing with the game we're trying to recreate, where in the end, the ad we see, well, it's not real gameplay. Their ads make the gameplay look simple and easy to recreate, but it's actually not. That's why they only showed a small part of the gameplay. Look. In the ad, there are moments where there are hundreds and hundreds of entities moving, with thousands of bullets being fired at the same time, the soldiers and so on. But, well, a phone handling that many entities is going to lag. In the video, everything is pre-calculated since it's animation, making it easy to do. But if we want to do the same thing, we're going to have to do some drastic optimization work, believe me. Our game will be on the App Store and Play Store, so it must run equally well on an iPhone 15 and a Wiko. So how do we handle many entities? To show you just how much lag entities can cause, I made a mini simulation that duplicates cubes infinitely and moves them in one direction. You can see that as time goes on, the FPS drops. That's because games rarely have many entities moving at once. If these cubes are zombies, we need to quickly implement a system to eliminate them so their number doesn't grow endlessly. Right now we're running at about 100 FPS, but let's have some fun and increase the number of zombies to see what happens. And here, unsurprisingly, we quickly drop down to 25 FPS, which is acceptable. But on mobile, I imagine that could mean 5 FPS. FPS, since I'm on a PC, this is what it looks like when playing, and it's not very playable. So during gameplay, we'll need to limit the number of zombies at once. The second risk that exists in terms of the number of entities present is the soldiers. A soldier is very resource intensive because he's constantly firing bullets, and those bullets are entities themselves. Look at the amount it represents. If we have a lot of soldiers, it's monstrous. And well, same thing, you can see where I'm going with this. We'll have to manage and limit the number of soldiers present, and that will be handled at the game design level. Putting it all together, we get this gameplay. We have soldiers, can shoot, and the core mechanic is set at that level. And by the way, you may have noticed a new element right here. The soldiers have a skin, and that's the transition to implementing graphics into the game. If there's one thing to remember about the art direction of these mobile games, it's that they're very colorful, and the graphics are also very simple. There's often a style called low poly, which is about making assets quickly while keeping a cartoon style. Here, for example, we created a tree for our game by making an initial shape and then dividing and exploding it to get the exact form we wanted. And if we add color on top by literally painting it, it would give us this kind of composition in the end. And basically, it was relatively quick to make compared to more detailed graphics. Then we can have fun doing the same thing to make rocks, mountains, mushrooms, wooden fences, and also have lots of elements that we can add to our game to create color and dynamism. I'm saving you time, since while it's quicker than making a tree in GTA, it still takes days overall. Now we have all our modeled elements imported into Unity, and we can place them as we like. Always maintain a main long corridor bordered on the sides where zombies and portals advance. Honestly, I love the style now. It suddenly makes me want to play it, which shows how important graphics are when comparing versions. To add variety, we created a beach level, so version 1 will have 2 maps. And actually, the idea is that in our game we're going to create lots of different small levels, and in each level there are more difficulties or new mechanics, for example. Same thing for the beach, you just have to have fun placing the elements by hand, like this. The level isn't related to the previous one, but it keeps bright colors. This helps the player avoid feeling like they're repeating since the map changes. The small signature is like an Easter egg. We added a tiny banner in the game with the Soundblock logo, my video game studio founded with Fuse. This studio is currently helping me create this game. I'll explain later in the video why that's crucial for this concept, since I don't have the skills to make these models. Since the start, I've discussed environments, but graphics also cover characters. You need to create, animate, and enable them to move and shoot. We also created the game's interface buttons, icons, and assets like the soldier's pistols. Modeling each item takes a lot of work, even if it doesn't seem like it. And since we want to create a game that will be successful, we really took the time to make beautiful assets. That's just it. It puts a bit of pressure on me because I hope it will be successful as a result. We implemented all these assets into our game. It became all nice and polished, but before I show you what it looks like, we need to do the branding. The branding of a game is like the branding of a cereal box or a YouTube video. You need a name that sounds good and is a bit catchy, and you need an app icon that stands out. Here, I'm showing you the branding of well-known games. Just like with the art direction, you can see that you need colors, and you can even notice that some of them are heavily inspired by each other. I'll do the same and take inspiration from Brawl Stars. We'll design a colorful zombie-themed logo as our app's icon, the one you'll see on your phone to launch the game. And as you can see, this kind of logo is drawn directly by hand, not by me. Yeah, she draws on one side, and it creates a rotating mirror effect so that it draws everywhere. It speeds up the process and helps us create a very symmetrical logo. Next, we need a name for the game, and I've picked an original one for a mobile game. Subscribe? No, yes, no, I panicked. No, not a fake game. Which in French would be pas un jeu fake. There you go, I think it's original, maybe it's intriguing, and it's a nice reference to the original game. Here's how it looks when exporting the game to a phone. We'll also preview it on the App Store and Play Store, but first, as promised, we'll test the game with the new graphics. Okay, here we are. This is the menu that lets you select the level you want to play. So yeah, there are a lot of coming soon levels because version 1 is very simple. That's on purpose. We can start the level. Honestly, the graphics have changed everything. We have little zombies. It's intentionally slow at level 1, but speeds up as the game progresses. I gradually collect more healthy ones and eliminate soldiers before they reach the red line. It's not easy because on top of that, we're shooting slowly. Same thing, that's intentional. If I pick up the weapon, I shoot much faster. Yeah, it's a bit tricky. Here, there's a zombie that's a bit bigger. There are also mini zombies that move faster. You have to be really careful. No. It's unlikely you'll succeed on your first try. It's almost impossible. That's intentional to keep you playing longer, even though there are only 2 levels right now. This challenges you to see if you can beat them since they're tough. You might say, Awen, only 2 levels isn't great, but don't worry, more will come if the game does well. I'll revisit that later in the video when we publish the app. You'll see why. The game is official but isn't earning any money right now. That's not the experiment's focus though. As capitalists, we want to see if it can make money, so we'll add ads. Yeah, and by the way, you'll see later that I didn't manage the amount of ads very well. We're going to get slammed in the store comments, remember that. To handle the ads, I integrated Unity ads. That's Unity's monetization platform. It's the equivalent of Google AdSense with YouTube, and depending on the number of impressions and clicks on our ads, we'll make more or less money. Plus, we can track all of that on this beautiful dashboard. It looks like this. We'll place the ads between two games. If a player finishes a game and starts another, we show an ad first. This is the standard approach you've likely seen before. I really have no idea what to expect in terms of how profitable these ads will be, or even how many ads will be shown. No idea at all. I'm really curious to find that out with you. Now, if we want to get downloads, we obviously have to publish our app. Nothing too complicated, it's just a lot of paperwork to fill out. And above all, you have to put a description and screenshots of the game. Screenshots that make people want to play, preferably. It would look something like this page. Honestly, we can do better, or we will do better if we update the game. But to start testing the game, this will be more than enough. And as you can see, I mentioned it a bit earlier, the publisher of the game is Soundblock Studio. What's Sound what? Yes, this game was co-developed with Soundblock Studio, and more specifically, Fichet was behind the development and Mob was behind the graphics, animations, and modeling. Soundblock Studio was brought in because I'm releasing a simple, almost prototype version of the game with just 2 levels. And even the experience, well, honestly I already find it super addictive, but it's still simple at this stage. But if you like this game, if there are enough downloads, then Soundblock will be able to provide updates for the game, add lots of new levels with plenty of new mechanics, and really give the game a real lifespan. Having a game studio that can provide ongoing support is honestly a great opportunity. That's why we even opened a Discord dedicated to the game, and this will allow Soundblock to gather all your feedback and also keep you updated on everything that's coming out. To get people talking about the game, I have a lot of options available to me. Among them, there's one technique I'm really eager to try, which is to call on an influencer. It's literally the technique used by the game we're taking inspiration from. They go to influencers, ask them to make a video about the game, they pretend to play the game, but they're not really playing it. It's a bit weird. You can tell, they just got paid, they're happy. I got paid. The publisher will promote that video heavily, so it's widely seen. I acted quickly. Stanzo is ready to do an ad for our project. I sent this video of Michael Youn. I was gonna ask him to do something kind of similar, but in a parody style, so it would be funny, of course. I think he really got it. His ad is really amazing. Before I show it to you, there's just one really important thing to look at, which is which URL we're going to highlight in our ad. Actually, this is kind of a crucial point because we can't just throw out a link, since if the person is on Android or iOS, well, it's not the same link. And on top of that, if for example I make an Instagram story and put this link in it, the people who click on it will have it open in Instagram's browser. And actually that means we lose a lot of users. People aren't going to bother manually typing it into the App Store to find our app. The trick is to use what's called a deep link. Basically, it's a smart link that will detect if you're on iOS or Android and will send you to the right version of the store, but it will also open the store directly. I found a cool tool called Tap It by a French entrepreneur. I've seen several TikToks from him building it in public, which I find very interesting. And YouTubers, apparently they use it for YouTube videos, so that if they put a link in an Instagram story, it opens the YouTube app directly instead of opening Instagram's browser. So this isn't sponsored at all. I tried creating a deep link for Not a Note Fake game, and yeah, it's really well designed. You can even turn the link into a QR code or get a lot of analytics about who clicked on your link. It'll be interesting to track that later. And there you go, that's the link we'll be able to share. End of aside, I'm not paid, but I'll include an affiliate link in the description if you want to make smart links. It's useful for setting up advertising, especially on TikTok ads. There you go. With Stanzo, I'll show you his ad. It's incredible.
Guys, I don't get it. Is this game fake or not? So you have to go from right to left. Yeah, honestly, it's really good. Right now, I'm playing the game. I'm being careful. There are a lot of zombies. Actually, I'm dead. This game isn't fake. I met my girlfriend through it. Ewan paid me 5,000 euros for the promo. That's where the YouTube money goes. Don't cut my part.
Don't cut. He's crazy. Thank you, Stanzo. Honestly, thank you so much. You're a genius. Well, I posted it. I put 100 euros into advertising. I set up a whole TikTok campaign, yeah, where I targeted young people from 18 to 25 who like games, all that stuff. But I also gave it my all on my own social media. I made a story to talk about the game, a YouTube post, a Discord post, a tweet, and after that whole ad campaign, we had to wait. I let the game run for 2 or 3 weeks to get some interesting results. In the meantime, the game even reached number 20 in the strategy game rankings. At one point, it was pretty crazy. In terms of downloads, roughly, we got 2,000 on iOS and 2,100 on Android. On a less fun note, we got slammed in the reviews. Actually, we put in way too many ads, we kind of messed up. Like, for example, normally you have to set a minimum time between showing 2 ads. Like, if the minimum time is 3 minutes, well, a user who keeps losing their games won't be bombarded with ads. In our version, it was so badly done that even when you won a game, it would show you an ad. It was unbearable. People Very logically, well, they didn't like it. We quickly released an update to fix this issue. Still, I ran a really small ad campaign by my standards, so the stats are still pretty interesting. But you can guess that the real publicity boost for this game, well, it's this video you're watching right now, and maybe it's even this video that will secure a future for our game. That's why now I'm going to tell you how much it has made so far, but in 30 days I'll give you a new update on my Discord to tell you how much it will have made, and it'll probably be a lot more interesting. Here's the amount it generated. I don't have it yet, but I'll show you during editing. It's still in the hundreds of dollars, which is more than I expected. So, considering the ad spend and the time spent developing this thing, we can agree that it's not profitable at all, right? But there's a world where this video could make it profitable. I promise to keep you updated on my Discord as I've done before. If you want a real game, I'll put the Not a Note Fake game download link at the top of the description. Remember, this is just a prototype. We'll keep updating it to make it a complete game if this video does well. Thanks again to Fitchy and Mop from the Soundblock team for helping bring this game to life. Hope you enjoyed it. This is Awen. Bye.